Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Lanning, Clinical Integration Coordinator here at the Indianapolis Health Plex. I'm super excited to join you guys here on Facebook and Zoom. Thank you for joining us today. Today, we're going to be working on corrective exercise for shoulder mobility, and I'll get into that here in just a little bit. But just to give you guys a little bit of background on me before we get started, I just started here in December here at the Indianapolis Health Plex. Love my job here. Graduated in 2016 with my exercise science degree, and then last May, with my doctorate in physical therapy. So really excited to join you guys today, and I'm so blessed with all my counterparts, my colleagues that have been doing all the videos as well. We're missing you guys at home, and I hope to see all of you guys here soon. So hope you guys are staying safe and staying active as well. So just to kind of get started, so you may be wondering, what are we going to be focusing on today with corrective exercise with shoulder mobility? So I'll give you a quick example. So about 5 days ago or so, I woke up and my left shoulder had kind of a twinge. It felt a little bit of tightness. And you may have felt this before, where you woke up, you kind of slept on your shoulder a little bit weird, and then you woke up and it felt tight, or you had a little bit of twinge, a little bit of pain with it. And so today, I'm going to show you just some stretches for shoulders, and then also some strengthening exercises that you guys can do too. But we always want to make sure that we're not putting a movement on top of a dysfunction. So that's extremely important as we're doing these exercises. I'll kind of reiterate that as we're doing the stretches, and then as we're doing the strengthening exercises as well. So the biggest thing to note is, whether you're young and you're an athlete, maybe you've thrown a baseball before and you're going back, call it external rotation. We're going back to throw a baseball, and you feel the tightness sometimes. You maybe don't have the speed or velocity that you wish you had, or afterwards you're throwing a baseball and you kind of feel that tightness within the shoulder. This video is for you. It's also for someone who's middle-aged or older, who maybe when you do just go straight up into shoulder flexion, one side lags behind the other side just a little bit. Not a lot, but just a little bit. So it could just be because of arthritic changes, could be because of shoulder impingement, it could be because of previous injury that you may have had, rotator cuff, something like that, adhesive capsulitis, or frozen shoulder, as many of you know it as that. So today I'm going to show you some exercises again, starting off with some stretches that you can do for shoulders. So the first one that I'm going to show you, you're going to use a towel. And this kind of helps with any kind of shoulder external rotation. So again, external rotation is the motion where you're going straight back like this. It's also the motion where if you have your palm like this, straight up, and you're going out to the side, that's also external rotation. So a lot of times that can get tight with individuals, especially if had any kind of tightness with throwing a baseball, or if you're older, arthritic changes, any kind of rotator cuff issues as well. So the first stretch I'm going to show you, it's really easy, kind of a quick, nice one to start with. I'm going to show you from the back side here. You're going to use a towel, and what you're going to do, you're going to use the right arm to go up and kind of stretch the left shoulder here. And you can go up, hold for a second, and then go back down. So go up, hold for a second, and then back down. We'll go ahead and do 5 more of those. So straight up, and then back down. I'll show you from the side view here. So going straight up, and then back down. Again, these stretches should be nice and easy. Don't force any motion into any pain. If you feel like you do have pain as you're going up, come back down a little bit and don't force it. So that's one exercise that you can do just to kind of get started. Another good one that you can do for shoulder mobility stretching is you can just go out to the side and really stretch out the pecs up and through the front. So we know that the pecs play a big role in being able to do shoulder flexion, and then shoulder scaption a little bit out to the side, and then abduction straight out to the side. So those are just some things that you can focus on. We'll go ahead and do 10 repetitions going straight up, Again, you're going to a little bit more than shoulder height. We'll go ahead and do 10 here. And again, with all these exercises, you want to go nice and slow. Again, these are stretches. We're not going super fast with any of these. Nice and slow. Just like this. So after you get 10 of those, you can do scaption. So scaption focuses on a little bit different plane, a little bit different angle with these. So this is at a 45-degree angle here. So I'll show you from the side. So I'm not straight out to the side, but I've got a little bit of angle as I'm going up. Really stretching those shoulder capsules out here. Just like that. And then the last one that we'll do, again, just get everything warmed up here, is shoulder abduction. So shoulder abduction is going straight out to the side and then back down. Straight out to the side and then back down, just like that. If you still feel like the shoulder is a little bit tight, I'm going to show you some other things that you can do as well. One of them you can do at your kitchen table, and you can grab a chair. And you put the towel on the table, you'll lean forward, and the towel is there just to help with some of the motion so that your hand doesn't get stuck to the table. Kind of helps you glide a little bit. And you can lean forward, stretch out the shoulder. That way, hold for a second or two, and then straight back. And again, you can do about 10 repetitions of this. Straight forward, you'll lean forward, and then straight back. You can also do a stretch too for both of the shoulders. If you're a little bit higher level athlete and that's too easy for you, you can go from the side of the table and lean straight forward. And you can really stretch out. You'll get a little bit of the back as well as the shoulders in that shoulder flexion motion here. So again, you're gliding forward, stretching, and then relaxing. Stretch, and then relax. The next thing that we can do, and I love this exercise because you can do this easily in the morning. So, and you can use a broomstick. We've got a dowel rod here today that you can use, but just something that's straight. You can use just a variety of things for this. And you can do this in the morning, throughout the day, and then at night in order to kind of, again, get that shoulder nice and loosened up. So I'll go ahead and show you this next one. And again, as you're doing these exercises, if you feel like you have any pain with these, back off. An analogy to think about here is kiss the pain and back off. Never go into pain and go further past pain. So you want to go to where you feel a stretch. All stretches should feel comfortable, but not painful. I always tell people that a stretch should feel good, all right? Because you're stretching the muscle. You're not getting it to the point where you're going to tear it, or that you're going past that point of comfort towards not comfortable enough for you. So the next exercise that you can do this again in bed. Is you can take a broomstick or a dowel rod just like this, and start by going straight up over the top into shoulder flexion again. Hold for a second, and then back. So this is especially important for people who maybe have arthritis, where in the morning things get a little bit tighter, and we just need to warm some things up. So again, going straight back. Hold for a few seconds, and then straight forward again. Again, you can do a couple sets of 10 with these. These feel really great, especially, again, even if you're younger and you've slept on that shoulder wrong, you wake up, you have a little bit of tightness going on. And again, with these stretches, something to think about, it's just like you're starting up a car. And if you start up a car when it's really cold out, you'll end up going, but your car won't work quite as well. So you want to turn on the car or turn on the shoulder by warming it up first. That's exactly what we're doing there. There are different angles of what you can do with this. You can go straight up over top, or you can do a little bit of a diagonal with this. So this is where I'm going straight up and over. Again, kind of stretching that shoulder out in a different angle. Straight, and then out to the side, just like that. So again, you can do a couple sets of 10 with these. And the next one that we'll do, you can be creative with these. So I know this won't work with everyone, but I know, so these are about 3 pounds. This is peanut butter. These are pretty big jars of peanut butter here. But you can start small. You can find something a little bit heavier. Some soup cans are a little bit heavier, or just something that you can find in the garage that you can use as well. But the next one that you'll do, these are going to just be basic rows. Just going to go back, squeeze the shoulder blades, hold for 3 seconds, and then go straight forward. Go back, hold for 3, and then straight forward. I'm going to show you from a side angle here. I want you to notice how much I'm squeezing the shoulder blades, and that's where you're going to get the most out of this exercise. The rhomboids, the right in between the shoulder blades and the spine, that thoracic spine there. And so any kind of shoulder retraction or scapular retraction, that's what muscle you're going to be working here. So there are different angles that you can do this at. So you can start low, you can go out to the side, or you go up a little bit higher. But again, the same concept where again, my shoulder blades are squeezing back. I'm really focusing on kind of, if there's something between my shoulder blades, being able to hit that, bring the shoulder blades together. So that's something else that you guys can focus on at home. So again, a couple sets of 10 with these. Again, peanut butter jars work really well with this. You can use cans of soup, something like that also works very well. And then you can do different variations of it, right? So you think about all the variations that you can do with dumbbells. So you can do these the same way if you don't have dumbbells at home. You can use peanut butter jars. You can use, again, something at home, soup cans, but you can go out to the side, do external rotation, that motion that I showed you at the very beginning, and then back. Just like that. Again, if this weight is not enough, you can add weight to this. But we'll go ahead and do about 5 more of these here, and then back. So big thing that you'll notice here is that my elbows are tucked to my side. You can even put some towel rolls underneath the elbows here, but they're tucked to the side. That's where you're gonna get the most out of this exercise here. So if you would do a couple sets of 10 with those, we can go back to doing some shoulder flexion. So going straight up and then back down, straight up and then back down. We can do some scaption, again, that 45-degree angle, and then back down. And the cool thing about using these peanut butter jars, if you really want to work more of your wrist and your finger muscles here, you can actually hold it a different way. So you can hold it at the very top and actually do it this way too. So the fingers and the wrists are actually engaging a little bit more, depending on how you hold the jar here, which is kind of cool. Straight up and then back down, just like that. You can also do extension, so shoulder extension here. So going straight back and then forward, straight back and then forward. Something to think about here also is squeezing the shoulder blades back. So it's kind of 2 motions. So your shoulders are going back, but then you're also squeezing the shoulder blades back together as well. And these are very fine movements. We're not talking about a lot of load here, but if you feel like, you know, I can do a little bit more reps, a little bit more sets, you can obviously do that to get a little bit more out of these exercises here. The next one that we can do, so we did the Dowel Rod Stretch where we're laying on our backs. From that position, we can also do what's called snow angels. So again, you can do these in bed. And what you'll do is first start with your hands to your side, and you're going to go straight up and out, straight up over top. Really give yourself a nice stretching through those shoulder capsules, and then back down. I love doing this stretch, especially in the mornings, because again, shoulders can get really tight, and then as the weather kind of gets a little bit cooler out, everything can get kind of tight with everything. So it's a good stretch, again, that you can do in the morning before you get up out of bed. So we're going to do one more of these here. Nice stretch. Hold this last one for a few seconds, and then straight back forward. So again, with all these stretches, if you feel like you have any pain, back off. Just do it to where you feel like it's a comfortable range for you. Next one that I'll show you, we'll go back to the peanut butter jars here. Is you're gonna lay on your back, peanut butter jars straight up over top, and you're gonna punch straight up towards the ceiling and then back down. Straight up towards the ceiling and then back down. This really works the serratus anterior muscle, same muscle that's needed if you're doing any kind of chest press, straight up. So, and this is an exercise too that you'll be surprised with how fatigued you might get depending on what kind of weight that you have up over top here. So again, if the soup can peanut butter jar is too light, you can obviously do a little bit heavier weight if you have dumbbells at home with these. I always tell people if you can hold for a second or two at the top and then come back down, a great exercise there as well. We'll go ahead and flip over onto our stomachs here. Again, focusing on shoulder strengthening and shoulder mobility. We're going to do the I's, Y's, and T's. You guys have probably heard about these if you've gone through therapy before. Love this exercise because proximal to distal stability is extremely important. What I mean by that is if you're doing any kind of shoulder strengthening and in between the shoulder blades isn't quite strengthened up enough, you could be compensating a lot by using your right side, your dominant side, a little bit more than your left side. So it's really important to not forget about proximal stability when you're doing scapular strengthening. So I'll show you an exercise that can kind of help out with that. Again, this is an exercise that for a variety of populations, you can do this, whether you're young or you're older. You don't even have to use weight with this. Sometimes I'll even with my clients, I'll have just a towel in their hand just to feel like they're grabbing something, and then they'll go back. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So again, lay on your stomach, and then we'll do the I first. So we'll go straight up. So again, it's the two motions here with this. So the shoulder's going into extension, straight back, and then I'm also trying to bring my shoulder blades together. So straight up, and then pinch the shoulder blades. So we'll do a couple more of those. And again, you can hold for a couple seconds at the very top. And you'll be surprised, even with 3 or 4 pounds, you do quite a few repetitions of this, it'll start fatiguing you out a little bit. Next one that we'll do are Tease. So we'll go straight up and out to the side, squeezing the shoulder blades at the very end. Again, 2 different motions here with this. So straight up, and then squeeze the shoulder blades. Straight up, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then back down. Next one that we'll do is our Y's. So Y's, you're going to be at about a 45-degree angle, not straight up over top, but a little bit out to the side, and you'll do the same thing. So again, really focusing on lifting, and also squeezing the shoulder blade back. And then back down. Straight up, and then back down. So again, those are 3 exercises that you can focus on for proximal to distal strengthening. Some other things too, if you feel like some of these exercises are getting a little bit too tough, we showed you the table slides to kind of help with shoulder mobility there. We showed you a little bit of the dowel rod, the snow angels. Another thing that you can do are wall walks. So what I mean by that is, so if you have a wall and you're focusing on shoulder mobility, say that I'm about there where it's one arm is a little bit lagging behind the other arm. You can work on slightly doing finger walks up a wall. And that can kind of help assist. These are active assisted exercises to help not put so much load on the shoulders. So you can kind of inch up go up, finger walks, and then back down. Just like that. You can go up and then back down, just like that. Let's go ahead and do some more pec stretches here. So we'll go ahead and do a pec stretch going back. Another thing that you can do a bear hug. You can go in and then out. Really give yourself a nice stretching through the pecs here. In, give yourself a hug, and then back out. Some nice stretches here, nice and loosened up in the shoulders. For a pec stretch, another thing that you can do, you may or may not have heard of this before, but you're doing a pec stretch up against the doorway. So what I always tell people is that have tight pecs up and through the shoulder areas, start low. So start out about an angle like this, go to the doorway, entryway, and just lean in, hold for about 10, 15 seconds. Again, it should not cause any pain, no discomfort in through the shoulders. This usually isn't so much of a problem, but as you kind of walk up and you're up at about 90 degrees and you're going straight back, sometimes people have a little bit more discomfort in through the shoulders. So if that is the case, bring the elbows back down a little bit, okay? So that should help with any kind of shoulder discomfort that you have. But again, it's important that you not only warm up the shoulder, but you're warming up the muscles around. So we're talking about the rhomboids back there that we focused on, the scapular strengthening, the pec stretching, the pec strengthening as well. So we'll show you a few more things here. So going back to the peanut butter jars. So you can go up into a bicep curl and then straight up over top and go back down. Bicep curl, straight up over top. Again, form and technique is so crucial with all these. You know, if you're doing this exercise and you feel like you're kind of going all over the place, or say you're kind of doing one of these where the left shoulder here in this case, it's not going up super high. With this, you may need to drop the weight down a little bit just to get that form and technique. I said sometimes you may not even use any weight at all, and that's okay too. So again, going up, bicep curl, straight up over top, and then back down. Straight up, shoulder height, and then back down. Some other things that you can do too, be creative with these exercises. You can do some isometric kind of stuff. So isometric meaning you're pushing and then just stabilizing, really isometrically focused on one muscle group. And so one thing that you can do is you can do a standing small circles with a peanut butter jar. So again, if you feel like this gets too easy, do it for a couple minutes and see. That'll be more of an endurance kind of exercise here. But this is a great exercise that's very isolated to the shoulders. So again, you can start by doing some big ones, kind of some snow angel ones, and then you get down to doing some smaller circles, just like this. And then you can also do them out to the side. So again, small circles, you can start with some big ones, kind of get the shoulder warmed up again with all these. And then go back to slow. If you have a resistance band at home, I was thinking about this, you can also do like a jump rope. Some of the older jump ropes have a little bit of resistance to them that you can pull a little bit with. Another great exercise, using external rotation. So again, that motion going straight out to the side, focusing on that motion, plus doing rhomboid strengthening. So again, the rhomboids are right in between the shoulder blades there. Is start with the resistance band and go out to the side, really squeezing the shoulder blades back and then together. So again, I'm going to kind of show this from the side angle here. Out to the side, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then come back together. Out to the side, squeeze, and then come right back together. So if you feel like this gets too easy, use some more resistance. If you have resistance at home, you can also use dumbbells to do this kind of exercise as well. Something like that works really well. Some other things while we're focusing on shoulder, if you have a resistance band at home, do bicep curls just like this. Kind of stand. And again, as you see with all these exercises I'm doing here today, I'm not going really fast with all these. They're nice, slow, controlled movements. Again, quality over quantity here. So you want to make sure, again, form and technique are good before you're doing anything heavier. So again, not putting a movement on top of a dysfunction. So again, going through everything today, we did the towel stretch, we did the table slides, we did the dowel rod, so you can do that in the morning. The snow angels going up and out to the side, really working on that shoulder mobility, that stretching, that flexibility. We did the wall walks. We did some pec stretching today. Again, you can do any kind of flexion or scaption, nice and slow, going straight up to shoulder height and back, different angles of that. We did the rows. So again, you can do different angles of that as well. So I'll show just a little bit different motion of that. So you can be on one knee here, go back, and then together, squeeze back, pinch the shoulder blades, and then together, just like that. Some big things that I see, so when we talk about corrective exercise, when we're doing these upper body exercises with the shoulder, a lot of people want to try to engage the upper traps. So the upper traps kind of extend from the back side, that big bone back there on the back of your skull. These upper traps go down to the shoulder area. A lot of times you'll see the scalenes, some of the muscles around the shoulder region, they'll start to really hike up. And you'll start doing these exercises with the shoulders hiked up and elevated. Try to keep the shoulders nice and loose anytime you're doing any kind of shoulder mobility exercises. That's really important so that you're not engaging different areas that you don't want to engage and cause injury that way. The last thing that I'll focus on today, and then we'll be done, are self-myofascial releases. So if you have a tennis ball at home, this is really great to do, especially with the athletes that I work with. A lot of times they get really tight and through kind of that pec bicipital groove area where the bicep kind of inserts onto the shoulder. After you've done different kind of strengthening exercises, you can use a tennis ball and do some self-myofascial release, just kind of some light massage over that. Again, I'll show it from the side angle here, just right over that pec area, right over the front part of that kind of delt, where the long head of the bicep inserts onto on the front side of the shoulder here, and just do some massages over there. That'll kind of help with any kind of soreness you might have. Biggest thing I always tell people as we wrap up here is if you wake up, you feel tightness in the shoulder, start right away with some of these exercises. The Dowel Rod Stretch, any kind of mobility, make it easy. Use the table to kind of help you glide and just get that motion first. Let that table and that towel help you glide into that motion, okay? So it's always important to do progressions, right? So we did a lot of stretches at the beginning. Then you can focus on some light strengthening. You can get into some heavier weights with some of these things as far as working the rhomboids, doing all the overhead stuff, any kind of chest press if you're doing laying on your back, that kind of stuff like that. So just make sure that you're always doing a progression of things too. So but always stretch before and after, and then use tennis balls, lacrosse balls, something like that to work over those areas where you feel like it's the most tight. All right. We miss you guys, and I hope to see all my clients and everyone else here at the Indianapolis Health Plex here soon. Make sure to take care of yourselves during this time. A lot of times we're not being as active as what we should be. Maybe we're eating unhealthy. Our nutrition isn't quite right. We're not staying hydrated. My challenge today for everyone is to think of 3 things that you're thankful for, whether it's your family, being in good health, being able to do some of these exercises that I showed you today. Think of 3 things that you're thankful for and blessed for, and just keep going with that, because I think that sometimes puts a positive light into some things going on that we have. So love you guys, and look forward to joining you next week again and focusing on Just some corrective exercises with the core and also lower extremity as well. So thanks guys, and have a great weekend, great rest of your Friday.